Hi guys, welcome to today's podcast, or should I call it the POTD, the podcast of the day. yeah, this podcast title is called The Bigger Things in Life, and this is the complement to the sermon that I spoke on last year that was titled The Biggest Thing in Life. The long story short for that sermon was that all that mattered in life was on whether we like us, you and me, everyone, on whether we have a relationship with God. But to have a relationship with God, if you so decide to have one, can only happen if you know who God is, what He is like, and what is His character. And I guess this is basically what this whole podcast is about. Who God is, what He's like, what is His character. And before I begin to share who God is and giving you this framework that I've developed for understanding how God works, before we even dive into that, I just like you to know that there are a few things in mind to keep as I share everything that will be shared in the coming podcast. And so I hope this podcast or the content here will go over just more than just a podcast. Maybe you'll be seeing this in a PDF, or you'll see this on Spotify as a podcast, or maybe it's on the website that I shared with you, or even like if you see this video recording on YouTube, right? I hope that you see that I'm not trying to force anyone into having the same set of beliefs that I do, and I hope that all I want to do or to try doing is to show you that at the end of all this, that the existence of a God is very plausible, and how this higher entity works has rules and laws, and he works a certain way. And so these are three things in mind as I start to show you stuff in the coming episodes in this podcast. The first thing will be objective study. I want to try my best to show you an unbiased view of everything that I know, because I can show you a set of opinions, but without data, nothing is set in concrete. And so, as much as I can, I'll show you sources that are tangible. And the opinions, I leave to you to make your own. And so what I hope to give you is another chance to look at the bigger things in life and to start questioning for yourself. Like, why did this happen? Why is it so? Who would do this? What could have happened? How did it happen? When, where, who, what, when, where, why, how. 5W1H, right? So instead of opinions, I'll try to show you data, and I'll leave the opinions for you to form. And so that's the first thing in mind as I go through this podcast. The second thing I will show you, the second thing in mind as I show you things in this podcast will be the scientific way. And so I'd like the points shown to be proven and backed by data. Much like how our science experiments require data to back up a hypothesis, I also want my points to be backed up with data. And so if not, my hypothesis just remains a thought experiment, right? And so I want this to be driven by data, and not just like random thought experiments, just if but if there's no data to back it up, that is it's all for nothing, right? And so with many personal biases that we grew up with, it may be hard to accept new truths. And so I bring to you the third thing to put to mind as I show you things in this podcast, having an open mind, right? And so if make it aware, or like just understand that all of us have personal biases. And so even when we have data that backs it up, even though it's against you, it doesn't feel right to you, make sure you know whether it's because of your personal bias as you grow up, or whether it's really something that you really know that you have this much data to disprove whatever that I'm sharing, right? Either ways, we have to take all new information with an open mind. And so these are the three things I hope that you keep to mind as I proceed with the rest of the episodes. Yeah. That's all I have. And I guess we will start the first episode soon. Yep. So see you guys in the next episode. Right. Bye.